Hi, everybody. I'm Tony. This is Sarah. We're here from Buildium, and we're actually interviewing Salvatore Friscia, and we're talking about property management and social media today. So let's get the conversation started.
That's fantastic, guys. Thank you for having me on. I'm so excited to talk about property management and social media strategies. It's definitely something every property manager should have as part of their arsenal for marketing their business and their brand.
First off, let's start off with your name and your company and how long you've been a Buildium customer.
My name is Salvatore Friscia. I am the owner and managing broker of two residential property management companies in San Diego, California, San Diego Premier Property Management and Tenant Finder. And I have been a Buildium customer. I believe we are one of the first Buildium customers in California. I know in San Diego we are, I believe since 2004, we started with Buildium.
Nice. That's when we were founded too. So that is the very beginning.
Right from the start.
Yeah.
That's what we like.
And how many units are you managing currently between both companies?
You know, what we do in terms of units, we're managing right around 150, but what we like to do is we like to say in terms of property value. So right now we just eclipsed 70 million in residential property management, which is, you know, a big feat for us here in San Diego. Starting from 0 to 70 million is something that we're very proud of.
Awesome. That's great.
Absolutely.
So what would you say makes your property management company unique to others in San Diego?
Sure, that's great. Well, first off, we don't like to compete. We like to dominate. So just by saying that, we make ourselves very different than everybody else. What makes us different and stand out is that we share our story and we don't talk about property management first and foremost.
That's great. So I guess to taking that a little bit further, why exactly do your residents love you?
Love that question. They love us because we're transparent, because we're real people. We're not just a company that manages their properties. We're actually real people. They know who we are. They've seen us interact on a social level, from being at the mall or the movies to when we're in the office and our corporate, our business culture. And it's much different than just a corporation style feel. We are family owned and operated, and our social shows that as we go through San Diego, showcasing beautiful San Diego and the services that we provide for our clients and our tenants.
What's the best advice that you have for other property managers in the area, if you had any?
What's the best advice for other property managers?
Yeah.
I love this question because I get asked this question a lot. What I tell property managers when they ask me that is we all have something different as property managers. You know, when it comes to property management, we're really doing the same thing. It's not that difficult. We're really doing the same thing. But the one thing that separates us is our unique personality and the culture of our businesses. And that's the one thing that can separate all the property management companies in any immediate area. So if you can show that, if you can broadcast that out to your online community and to your local community, you will have an advantage.
So when did you start to realize the importance of social media, specifically in the property management space? Absolutely.
So as a property manager, I found myself being stuck in falling into mediocrity, doing the same thing that everybody else was doing. It was probably around 2000, I want to say 12 or 13. Periscope was just being launched. It was big in terms of being able to utilize, handheld device as a medium for reaching the masses in a way that was only allowed through maybe television or radio in the past. And I came across, the Gary V's and the Grant Cardones, and I noticed that these two individuals, very different in their approach, but they had one thing that was so special in my eyes, was that they were able to tell their story. They were able to reach people. And in my opinion, it was an epiphany. I realized that if I was going to break away from mediocrity, if I was going to separate myself and be able to make myself synonymous with property management and San Diego, that was the platform that I was going to go into would be social media. Now, obviously, Periscope is, morphed into Twitter, purchased Periscope, and video has become prevalent in everything we do. So getting into the social media aspect of it, 3, 4, 5 years ago has really helped us diversify ourselves out of just being the property management company into being more of a media presence in San Diego.
And do you see that as being, a really attainable goal for a property manager? Do you find that there's a lot of opportunity for property managers in the social space currently?
I do. I'm going to take it one step further. I think that it's not a matter of if you need to have a social presence. You must have a social presence if you want to stay relevant. And I know a lot of property managers don't want to hear that. I get a lot of pushback because they're still doing things the same way they were doing them maybe 5-10 years ago. But the truth is that if they don't adapt, if they don't realize that social media is the new way to build communities, they will no longer be relevant to the guy down the street who does it. And it's so important. It's not a matter of if or wanting to. It's a matter of you must do it.
So what made you want to become an influencer in the space, specifically around social media?
Sure. Well, like I say to a lot of property managers, while they were going to industry events like NARPM and PM Growth Summit, which they should be, I was attending social media conventions. I was meeting with social media real estate influencers, and I was in their ear, bugging them, asking them questions, going to where they were, convening, and really absorbing what they were doing that was successful. And I packaged that all up and brought it back to San Diego to try and put together a property management social media strategy that would work for my company. And we were successful in doing so, not only to receive local recognition, but to receive national recognition from, real estate powerhouses such as Zillow and Inman Real Estate News. And I knew that, from that experience, that other property managers could do it also. They just needed to know the right way to do it. I went through a lot of trial and error. And, as you know, Sarah, we put together the Property Management Social Media Boot Camp, and selfless plug there. And I just wanted to, we put that together because I wanted other property managers to see that there is a way to do this and to have fun doing it and to make it something that actually benefits their business, helps them grow their reach, get leads, extend their business and their brand. And that's something that I wanted to share with our industry.
Yeah, and it sounds like there's a certain element of, you really just have to dive in, start doing it, start iterating and learning with confidence, because otherwise there's really no way to get into it and start the process.
Well, absolutely. I mean, every day that you do it, you get better. If I could show you some of the videos that we produced early on or some of the content that we put out there, we'd all have a good laugh. And that's a normal
Maybe
process.
You should.
It's a normal process. But, I would rather have that content out there than not have it out there and try and wait for the perfect moment, because that's not going to come. It's a fast-moving, space. And we've seen that where, I remember going to conventions where, Snapchat was the darling of the convention and everybody wanted to be on Snapchat. Now, I still think Snapchat has relevancy and is important, but everything is cyclical and it'll come in and out, as we've seen, Facebook went through it too. So to sit there and try and figure out a perfect time to get on these platforms and to put the right content out is probably not the best approach. The best approach would be just to get out there, to get comfortable with that, that powerful iPhone or Android device in front of you, put out content and reach people. That's the most important thing, is developing that awareness of who you are above and beyond just being a property manager.
Right, and exactly, because social media will always be changing, right. And it's about, first and foremost, the interaction and your ability to connect with people instead of putting out a perfect piece of content, like 100%.
Absolutely. And people don't want perfect. And when I say this, it's very hard to understand that. They want to see you as a real person. If you stutter, if you misspeak, if there's an issue that you say something incorrectly, that's okay too. It's normal. You want to be a real person. They don't want a rehearsed, scripted approach. Now, you may have a script, but if you're delivering it in a manner that makes sense, like we're conversating right now, to me, that's the true essence of a social, relationship in terms of putting out content and then waiting to receive the comments or the engagement and then re-engaging with that. It's not a one-way street. I'm not going to just throw up my content all over and hope you get it. I want to engage with you, and I want to build rapport, and I want to build confidence in from your perspective of what we're doing as a property management company.
100%.
That's what it's all about, being social. It's kind of like the real behind the scenes of everything, right?
That's correct. It's in the name.
The career. Yep. So would you say that even though this is I can predict the answer, would you say that your social media personality is different from your, at-home personality, or you are just the same person?
I'm the same person.
Yeah.
I really am. I don't put on
deal.
apps, and I love it when people meet me and they say, you are like you are in your videos, and that's a compliment to me. I don't put on an act. It's not let's go live and then I'm this different persona. I am who I am. I show, the behind the scenes of my family life. We just came back from Scottsdale, Arizona. We met with some great social media influencers out there. I did all the behind the scenes. We're going to have a whole vlog for that. We're going to have, it'll go on YouTube. It'll go on LinkedIn. It'll be syndicated out. And I'm the same person I am speaking with you right now as I am with them. I think that you need to be. If you're not, you're probably doing yourself a disservice. I think that, if you capture moments and convey them to your audience, that's what makes you real. That's what people really want to see. And we caught a glimpse of that when people started tuning into, 5, 7, 10 years ago with reality TV. That's what people wanted. We have the ability to create our own, reality TV, but just be real about it.
And, things are changing all the time. Social media is changing all the time to embrace this. I don't know if you guys checked out Instagram's latest offering. So, that's definitely going to change the landscape.
Absolutely.
So again, it's just about being flexible, adapting, and putting yourself out there, right?
Absolutely, and I think you're alluding to IGTV. So Instagram just rolled out IGTV, which is another opportunity, and I did a whole video on LinkedIn for this. It's another opportunity for property managers to get in front of the camera. There's really Facebook Live, Instagram, IGTV, and then YouTube are the main video platforms. YouTube is difficult for property managers to really get traction on, unless they started many years ago. And personally, I don't know of anybody who has. We have a YouTube channel and we struggle and we put out a lot of content, but it's not about putting out content. It's about getting that audience, and it's difficult in the direction that YouTube is going. So I mentioned in the video that I put out regarding IGTV that this is a great opportunity for property managers to get a land grab on this new feature that Instagram is rolling out. They're going to roll it out as part of the platform as well as an independent app. And, up to 60 minutes of long form, video content. You don't have to go 60 minutes, but if you have something 10 or 15 minutes, that's a great opportunity to create a channel that really gets a lot of eyes on it, and you're at the base, you're at the beginning of this. It will evolve, it will change, but you have an opportunity to learn as that happens and really put together a great platform for people to engage with you on. So I agree that, as things change, property managers have the opportunity to change along with that and jump on.
Yeah, it's a huge value add to be really an early adopter of those technologies. Because then really because we've seen it time and time again, how it happens in social media, a new feature is launched, people at first question it, they're like, do I really want to use this? Is this something that can really add value to my business? And then the people that jump on it before and see the value ahead are the ones that benefit in the long run, when everybody else is, paying more for it to catch up.
Absolutely. I agree with that. And one of the things I tell a lot of property managers is you want to be on all the platforms. Now, I know a lot of people have a lot of pushback and say, well, my clients aren't on that platform. It's not a matter of the platform. It's a matter of the audience. It's very easy to move an audience from different platform to different platform. But you have to have a presence and they have to know who you are in order to do so. So if you're only on, and I know Facebook is the darling of property managers, and I'm trying to get Instagram out to the masses, and there's a pushback on it, and I don't understand why, because Instagram is owned by Facebook. It's integrated. A lot of the features are intertwined. It makes sense to be on Instagram, and I have stated before that it is my personal belief that Instagram will eventually eclipse Facebook as the dominant platform. There's a lot of writing on the wall that makes sense for that to happen. And I think the way they're growing, they just reached over 1 billion users, so 1/7 of the planet is on Instagram, which is phenomenal. And now they're rolling out, new innovative ideas like IGTV. They're adaptive and they're growing. It makes sense for property managers to be on Instagram, and I'm surprised not a lot of them are.
Just from speaking with a lot of property managers too, I think they know about Instagram. They're all on Facebook, or majority are at least. They know about Instagram. I think they fear a little bit because they're not really comfortable with the platform 100%. I think they also still have a confusion around hashtags, when they're appropriate to use, how to use them, why they're specifically important on Instagram. But I definitely think they are aware of it, and I think that we just need to help them, push them to make that leap into getting on there.
Yes, absolutely.
I agree. And you segued me right into the reason why I put together the Property Management Social Media Bootcamp, because we go over all of that. We go over how to optimize your Instagram profile, just for property management. It's specific to property management. So, I mean, it's an opportunity for them to get over that fear and put together, as I'm scrolling through and I see I'm connected with a lot of property managers, I look at that and I say, that is, that's great content. It's just not being, it's not reaching anyone. It's a shame.
Exactly.
And I could see little tweaks here and there that they could be doing to really increase their reach. And, one of the biggest things that people don't realize is that we receive leads all the time from our Instagram content, all the time. We come in the office and we have leads from people. They're DMing us. They're asking us. It's not something that's, happens once in a while. It's possible. You just need to learn how to use the platform correctly. And we go through all those measures, and that's why I'd like to reach out to more property managers and say, hey, you need to be on this platform. It has value. It can get you business.
Yeah, absolutely. And really understanding, and I think in helping people to get a good sense of the type of content that's appropriate for each platform, not, a one-size-fits-all approach, which, this day and age just really makes you look silly because you have the same type of content on every social media platform. It doesn't really, it's not suitable for, let's call it the playground where people are interacting. So
Tony, it's a big tell. It really is. When you see that, it's a big tell that there's not a lot of understanding of what to do with that social media strategy. And I think that people are becoming more and more aware of that. And if you don't know best practices on each platform, it's a glaring tell that something's wrong, and it's unfortunate because there's just little tweaks that could make the difference. And I see a lot of that when a lot of property managers want to, they want to sub out their social media content. And I say, that really defeats the purpose. Now, I understand if you have in-house staff or even if you're subbing out, but you're creating it, maybe you need somebody to help schedule it. But if you're having somebody write your social content, it's not genuine. It's not going to resonate. It most likely, and we've all seen it, it's not something that's personal. It's not something that's individual to that person or that company. It's stock, and it doesn't come across well. And to get back into the actual real estate industry, unfortunately, we're the low man on the totem pole being the property managers. Realtors and real estate agents have really figured out a way, and they've grown through this. In the beginning, it was house and that type of stuff, but now they've grown and they've learned how to embrace their community above and beyond just the sales tactics of a typical real estate agent. Mortgage brokers are doing the same thing. My goodness, even the fix and flip guys, the wholesale guys, have gravitated to where they understand how to reach an audience, a social community, and they're embracing it. Property managers need to learn how to do that. We need to get past just putting out content for the sake of one-dimensional sales aspect. We need to create that, that communication, that two-way communication with people and show the right type of content. It's not always about the property management aspect. There's only so many ways you can talk about how to return a security deposit. You need to learn how to embrace your community and to do different things that are going to be synonymous with wherever you live. People will think of you as well as the place that they're on, whether it's Boston, whether it's San Diego, wherever it is, you want to be mentioned in that conversation.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think a big part of that, too, is really getting on the ground, helping to draw out the customer stories that you have, whether from your clients or whether it's from vendors that you work with, giving people more of that holistic picture of what it is you do in your day-to-day. That could be really effective and just focusing on people, right?
I agree. And instead of telling people, why don't you just show them? I can tell you all day long I'm a great property manager, but I'd love to just take you around San Diego with me and show you what my day's like. I think that's more powerful. I think you'd probably enjoy that a little bit more. And I think that's more effective from a business owner standpoint because, if there's no credibility behind it, it doesn't resonate with potential clients.
Absolutely. And I think you build up karma by showing that sort of personal side of things.
Sure.
And that's so important with clients. So love it.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So just a little fun question. I think I know the answer to this one too, but what would you say is your favorite social channel?
My favorite? Sure, I love that. My favorite social channel started out as Snapchat. It was because that was my learning experience. You see a lot of people In the past, they did 30-day challenges or 10-day challenges where a friend would say, hey, I want you to get comfortable. Now, I understand the reason behind that, but I never embraced it because I didn't like it. I thought it was false content. By day 6, people were like, okay, I don't have anything to say, but my friend Jill told me to do this. And then it's boring. You're really just wasting your audience's time. But Snapchat, for me, forced me to learn how, in a raw way, do video. So I will always have, epiphany in my heart for Snapchat. Right now, what's my favorite is Instagram. Now, I have presence on Facebook everywhere, but as I mentioned, I do see the stock changing. I see Facebook kind of going down a little bit or plateauing, and I see Instagram rising. We're doing a lot of content on Instagram, so it is my favorite. But I'll be honest with you, one that's right behind it is LinkedIn. And don't sleep on LinkedIn. LinkedIn has really reinnovated itself. It's an exciting platform. Now, it's a different type of content. It's not Facebook style, but it has power because all of the audience on LinkedIn are professionals. And they're people who are probably doing the other platforms too. They know what type of content should be on there. So you need to step up your game a little bit if you're on LinkedIn, but it has potential to be really big and it's exciting. So we're doing a lot of stuff on LinkedIn as well.
Do you have any examples of some specific things that you're doing on LinkedIn?
Yeah, we're doing some about 2-minute videos where we're not trying to go too long. It's difficult to hold somebody's attention for more than 2 minutes. It needs to be something, really important and really have strong value. So we're staying within that 2-minute clip. We're doing little tidbits on, obviously, since I'm promoting the Property Management Social Media Bootcamp, I'm trying to educate property managers with success stories and other different, new ideas that are coming out from the different social platforms on LinkedIn. So we're staying within that 2-minute video. And video is the holy grail across any platform. I would recommend, if you're going to do anything, definitely to yield towards video first and foremost.
Thank you so much for taking the time to talk with us today.
Excellent. I appreciate you having me on it. It's always a pleasure to talk with you guys.